What if the only reason you are not rich yet is because you have been trying to take from the world instead of giving to it? What if every financial struggle you have ever faced was simply nature's way of telling you that you are consuming more than you are creating? What if I told you that the universe has a law, an unbreakable, unstoppable, ancient law that says the moment you become a genuine source of increase in the lives of other people, wealth has no choice but to chase you down? Not tomorrow, not someday, but as a direct consequence of who you decide to become starting today. Most people spend their entire lives asking, "How do I get more?" But the wealthiest minds in human history asked a completely different question. They asked, "How do I give more?" And that one shift, that one tiny revolutionary mental shift, changed everything for them. It will change everything for you too. Stay with me, because what you are about to hear is not motivation. It is not inspiration. It is a law, as real as gravity, and once you understand it, you will never look at money, success, or your own potential the same way again. Ever. What if the secret to unlimited wealth was never about how much you could grab, accumulate, or protect, but about how much you could grow, expand, and multiply in the lives of every person you touched? What if getting rich was never the destination at all, but rather the natural reward given to those who make it their mission to increase the world around them? Let me say something to you right now that will either shake your understanding of money completely or confirm what your soul has always quietly whispered to you. Wealth is not something you chase. Wealth is something you attract, and you attract it by becoming the kind of person that the world cannot afford to ignore, cannot afford to lose, and cannot afford to not pay. There is a law operating in this universe that most people live and die without ever discovering. It is not taught in schools. It is not printed on the front page of newspapers. It is not discussed at dinner tables where people complain about bills and broken dreams. This law is simple, it is ancient, and it is absolutely ruthless in its consistency. The law states this: whatever you genuinely increase in the life of another human being will be returned to you multiplied. Not sometimes, not occasionally. Every single time, without exception, without negotiation, and without delay beyond what your own faith can tolerate. Think about what it truly means to be a source of increase. It means that when you enter a room, that room becomes more valuable. It means that when you speak to a person, that person leaves the conversation feeling more capable, more inspired, more alive than they were before you opened your mouth. It means that whatever you touch, a business, a relationship, a community, an idea, grows because you were there. That is not a motivational concept. That is a wealth strategy, the most powerful one ever discovered by the human mind. Now understand this deeply, because most people misunderstand the relationship between service and money. They believe that service is what you offer after you get paid. They believe that you work hard when someone is watching, and you give your best only when the reward is guaranteed. But that thinking is the very thinking that keeps a person trapped in financial mediocrity for their entire life. The wealthy mind operates on an entirely different operating system. The wealthy mind says, "I will give my absolute best first. I will create undeniable value first. I will make myself so genuinely useful to the world first. And then I will trust the law to handle the compensation." Because here is what nature never does. Nature never allows a fruit tree to produce fruit and then refuse to reward it with sunlight and rain. Nature never allows a river that feeds 10 cities to run dry without being replenished from a source far greater than itself. And nature will never, not ever, allow a human being who consistently, genuinely, and passionately increases the lives of others to remain poor. It is a cosmic impossibility. It goes against the very grain of how this universe was designed to function. But I want you to understand something critical here. There is a difference between being a source of increase and simply being busy. There are millions of people on this planet who are working harder than anyone else, who are exhausted from morning to midnight, who are sacrificing their health, their relationships, their peace of mind, and yet wealth continues to escape them like water through open fingers. Why? Because being busy is not the same as being valuable. Working hard is not automatically the same as creating increase. You can dig a ditch all day long. You worked hard. You were busy. But if that ditch leads nowhere and serves no one, you have created nothing that the world is required to compensate you for. The question you must ask yourself every single morning before your feet touch the floor is not, "What will I do today?" The question is, "Whose life will I increase today? What problem will I solve today? What value will I inject into the world today that did not exist yesterday?" When that becomes your daily obsession, your daily commitment, your daily identity, the money question takes care of itself in ways that will make your head spin. Now let us talk about what it actually means to increase someone, because this concept is far deeper and far more practical than most people realize. To increase someone financially means you help them earn more, save more, or think more clearly about money than they did before you arrived. To increase someone mentally means you give them an idea, a perspective, a piece of knowledge that expands their capacity to create and contribute. To increase someone emotionally means you restore their belief in themselves at a moment when doubt was about to cost them everything. To increase someone spiritually means you remind them of their own greatness when the world has convinced them they are ordinary. Every single one of these forms of increase has a monetary equivalent. Every single one of them makes you more valuable. Every single one of them positions you in the marketplace of human exchange as someone who must be sought after, retained, and abundantly compensated. Think about the people in your life or in history whom the world has paid the most. Did they not solve problems that others could not solve? Did they not create experiences that others could not create? Did they not show up consistently, reliably, and powerfully as a source of something that made life better for those around them? Of course they did. And the world did not pay them because it was feeling generous. The world paid them because it had to. Because the alternative, living without what they provided, was a worse option than any price they could name. This is the mentality you must adopt. Not arrogance, not entitlement, but a deep, quiet, unshakable confidence that you carry something the world needs, and that your job, your sacred, daily, non-negotiable job, is to develop that something, refine that something, deliver that something, and never stop expanding that something until the day you leave this earth. Let me tell you something about the nature of money that will change how you see it forever. Money is not paper. Money is not numbers in a bank account. Money is not something governments print and markets trade. Money is converted value. Money is the physical form that human appreciation takes when someone receives something that genuinely increased their life. Every dollar that flows into your possession is the universe's way of saying, someone, somewhere, received more life because of you. Here is what that is worth. And every dollar that refuses to flow to you is the universe's way of saying, we are still waiting for you to give us a reason. So stop asking how to make more money. Start asking how to be more value. Stop studying the habits of rich people as if wealth were a costume you could put on. Start developing the qualities that make increase possible. Discipline, creativity, empathy, persistence, and an unshakable commitment to doing more than what is expected of you in every situation you encounter. Go the extra mile, not because someone told you to, not because you expect immediate recognition, but because going the extra mile is what separates those who get chosen from those who get overlooked. It is what separates those who get promoted from those who get forgotten. It is what separates those whose phone keeps ringing with opportunity from those who wait by a silent phone, wondering why luck never comes their way. Luck has nothing to do with it. The extra mile is a road that is never crowded, and the reason it is never crowded is because most people refuse to travel it. But those who do travel it discover that it is paved, absolutely paved, with compensation. And here is the most shocking truth of all. The moment you genuinely commit to becoming a source of increase, not as a tactic, not as a performance, but as a way of being, you will find that opportunities begin to appear from directions you never anticipated. People you never met will begin to seek you out. Doors you never knocked on will begin to swing open. Resources you never had access to will begin to make their way toward you. Not because the universe suddenly decided to be kind to you, but because increase attracts increase. Abundance recognizes abundance. And when you radiate the energy of someone who makes everything around them grow, the universe has no choice but to send more things your way that are ready to grow. This is not wishful thinking. This is not poetry. This is the most accurate description of how financial success actually works that you will ever encounter. The rich get richer not because the system is rigged in their favor. The rich get richer because they have mastered the art of being indispensable. They have made themselves into sources of such consistent, powerful, undeniable increase that the world keeps returning to them, keeps rewarding them, keeps expanding their influence and their income because the alternative is simply unacceptable. You have that same capacity, right now, with what you already know, with what you already have, with who you already are. The only thing standing between you and a life of genuine abundance is the decision, a firm, committed, burning decision that from this moment forward you will be known as someone who increases everything they touch. Make that decision today. Make it with your whole heart. Make it without reservation and without the need for anyone's permission, and then go out into the world and prove it, not with words, not with declarations, but with the consistent daily evidence of a life lived in service to the growth and increase of every human being fortunate enough to cross your path. Because when you do that, when you truly, deeply, consistently do that, getting rich will not be your goal anymore. It will simply be your result. Everything we have explored in this speech comes down to one truth that is both simple and profound. The universe rewards creators, not consumers. It compensates builders, not borrowers. It enriches those who make others richer in knowledge, in confidence, in ability, in hope, and in opportunity. You were not born to merely survive in this world. You were born to increase it. And the beautiful, breathtaking promise of this law is that the more you increase others, the more the universe increases you, financially, mentally, spiritually, and in every dimension of life that truly matters. Your wealth is not waiting in a lottery ticket, a shortcut, or a stroke of luck. Your wealth is waiting inside the next problem you solve, the next person you lift, the next value you create, and the next extra mile you travel when everyone else has already stopped walking. The moment you become a genuine source of increase, you do not just get rich, you become unstoppable.